It is Friday morning in the world of Gregors, and I got in at 2 a.m. Spent the week in Chicago, and yes, yesterday, if you noticed, my video wasn't there. It's today, and the reason being is not, well, they were trying to keep me from embarrassment by saying technical difficulties, but I'll be the first to admit, yes, I left this at home. I left this here. This little wire ruined my week because it charges my digital camera. And of course, the time you forget your charger is the time the battery decides it doesn't want to work. It died. So I want to thank Colleen for having her video ready early. And no, it was not an initiation. So, it is lost week. All right, so we got a really, I think, tough question. Some of us, like Matt, hasn't had to deal a lot, and I'm actually the same way. Losses I've had, and I wouldn't even say heartbreaks, but losses I've had never usually came during weight loss. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of in M's boat. Is most of the times when I got serious about losing weight, it was more a vanity, all about me thing. I mean, my weight loss, now my philosophy is totally different. It's more about health than anything else. But when I was dating, I was comfortable, I was eating. When I stopped dating, I wasn't comfortable with me anymore, and I wanted to lose weight. So, and that's the other thing. I can't walk the day in anybody else's shoes. So as far as suggestions go, I can't give any. I was looking online, and yeah, there's 5 steps, the 5, all the way from denial to acceptance of loss. No, the best I can do is to try to put you in my shoes for a moment. I think the only significant loss that I can draw back on, and this didn't happen during weight loss, but I still think it's a great story because it kind of gave me perspective on how to handle loss. For years, my grandma, my dad's mother, I would consider a best friend. It wasn't just a grandma who would spoil me. I mean, I had my mom's mom, who I love dearly. Did not have quite the same relationship, though. My grade school and high school life wasn't the easiest in the household I lived in. And my grandma was always just there for me, to lend an ear, to take me to the state fair. She'd actually rent us a limo and take us there. She was awesome. She'd do the grandma spoiling things, but it was even a step further because she would take me out and listen. And then she'd give me a bunch of quarters for video games too. So, when I got into high school and then my first couple years of college, her and I would go to this jazz club. My dad was a jazz drummer, and her and I would sit and watch him play, and she'd sing to me, and we'd talk, and she'd listen to my problems, and she told me most of the dirty jokes I knew, and she was just somebody I wanted to spend a lot of time with. I couldn't wait to be with her. I mean, how many people can literally, when you're in your high school and college years, long to be with their grandma like 2 nights a week to go out for jazz? I don't think of that as a normal activity, but that's what I did. I mean, because she was more than my grandma, she was my friend. And about 13 years ago, I was living in Madison, Wisconsin, and just out of nowhere, I got a call from my dad, and I've never heard him have as much emotion in his voice as he had. And apparently my grandma, in the hallway to her home, had a seizure and fell and broke her neck and passed away, just like that. She was an ill, It wasn't a long, drawn-out, hurtful death. She just died right there. As a matter of fact, she was coming home from the jazz club, and my dad liked to say that she died with her dancing shoes on, which I guess would be an okay way to go. But still, I hadn't talked to her in a while because I was off in Madison, and I lost one of my best friends. Now, there are many ways I can handle it, but because my grandma was the person that she was, and because of some of the things that she told me, made it very easy for me to cope, not only with this, but with other loss as well. Number one, the first thing she told me, and she told me this like 20 years ago, long before she had died, but she had a story of when she was young, and she was by, I think, her great uncle. She was with her great uncle and her great aunt, and her great uncle was on his deathbed, and everybody was fearful and sad and knew he was going to pass on soon. And the great aunt was horrified, and she was there by their side. And as the uncle kind of passed on, his eyes closed, thought he was dead. And then a couple minutes later, his eyes opened, and he was smiling. And my grandma said, "What happened?" And he just said, "Everybody who loves me is waiting for me on the other side." And he passed away. Kind of interesting. My grandma then, from that point on, was never scared of death. She told me that all the time. She told me that story. I thought it was kind of a cool story. And then about 10 years later, when we were out at the jazz club listening to my dad play drums, she told me I could die today, and I would be happy. I've done everything that I set out to do. I'm very happy. I've lived a wonderful life. That resonated with me forever because this was about 5-6 years before she died. It's like, wow. And then she always urged me that when she did pass away, to remember these times. And then when she did die, as broken down as my dad was, he told me the same thing. Remember the good times. It is better to have a best friend that you miss dearly than not to have that friend at all. The fact that I miss her every day reminds me that I had this wonderful person in my life. For me not to go on living, or for me to sabotage anything I do, just seems stupid. So that at least is my conscious mindset. I don't know if it's my subconscious mindset. I don't know if this helps you. But this is the week of loss, and she is somebody I lost, and I thought I'd share.